We are on the move, and welcome back to Community Connections. This is the final Community Connections of 2024. I cannot even believe that we are to this point in the calendar year, but we are, and what a lovely, bright, cheery day we have going on outside.
She must be going to air this on a different day.
Oh gosh, it's okay. I keep telling myself and everyone else that I encounter today, I'm like, it's okay. We're going to be fine. We will live. We are not going to melt. Like, oh, so.
If this were
out.
snow, they always say that like an inch of rain, it computes to like 8 or 9 inches of snow. It'd be like, oh boy. Because it's pretty deep. When I drove to town this morning, there was water across the road in a couple of places.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'll take this over ice and treacherous driving any day. So I think we should count our blessings. But as we roll into the end of the year, we want to talk about a couple of things that we have coming up here at the end of the year for the Chamber. Obviously, you're listening to Community Connections, which is where we connect you with Chamber members throughout the year so you can learn a little bit more about what we have here in our community. Today, we are graced with the presence of Miss Tammy Winning with the Decatur County Community Foundation. We're going to get to her in just a second. But first I want to tell you that we've got one more event in 2024, and it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m., Leaders and Loggers. If you guys have not been to a Leaders and Loggers, anyone is welcome to attend. It's free. It's open to the public. It is just a time for us to gather, honestly. It's a time to network, a time to come together. Typically, we will have some sort of a short program, 15 to 20 minutes in length, featuring a chamber member who is talking about a service, a product, their organization, how they got started in business, entrepreneurship, or what have you. We're going to do things a little bit differently tomorrow, and we're just going to leave it open-ended. We're going to call it a mix and mingle. So we just want you to come in, mix up with us, just talk to each other, look at, like, really take a deeper dive into some conversations and think about what collaborations might be on the helm for 2025. We are going to feature some sweet treats from Candyland Creations and More, which is one of our newest chamber members based out of the Batesville, the town of Batesville. But Trisha's going to bring some of her latest sweet treats tomorrow for us to sample, so that's going to be really fun. She's going to talk a little bit about she'll be there to talk about what she's got, not as a program specifically. And then we're going to take donations. So we're trying to help some of our community partners. If you attend tomorrow, or if you don't and want to drop by our office, we are looking for shampoo, deodorant, toilet paper, any of those hygienic type of products that we can in turn give to the Greensburg Community Bread of Life in helping them with their blessing boxes. So we're gonna, again, be taking donations tomorrow. That is from 4 to 6 p.m. on the north side of the downtown square at the Tap, which is, I believe, 116 East Washington Street. So if you want to join us tomorrow from 4 to 6 p.m., we would love to have you. It is a cash bar option. You can participate in that or not. And we just always have a great time. I leave there. I go every single time. Every time, Tammy, I have all of these conversations with all these different people that come in. Some are chamber members, some are not, and I love that. But we come in and we have these conversations, and every single time I walk away and have learned something. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know, or we're able to connect. Oh, you do this? Have you talked to so-and-so? And it's just, honestly, as a chamber director, it is one of the most fulfilling parts of the week or the month, is just being able to have those conversations and connect with people. Absolutely love it. So again, I know that I'm harping on it, but if you can join us tomorrow for Leaders and Loggers, 4 to 6 p.m., final one of the year, we're just going to have a great time and try to bless those in need through those blessing boxes with the Greensburg Community Bread of Life. So we do have in studio with us today the fabulous Ms. Tammy Winning. I feel like it has been forever since we've gotten to really sit down and take a deeper dive. So that is what these next 30 minutes are going to be, is just taking a deeper dive with Ms. Tammy. And if you are listening and have not had the pleasure of meeting Tammy, give us just a little bit of background about yourself.
Okay. I have been with the Community Foundation I think it's right at 10 and a half years now.
Really?
And
has it been that long?
Prior to that, I was at the courthouse in various positions for 14 years, and I've been in the community my entire life. So I'm at the point where everybody looks familiar and I feel a bit senile because I can't come up with names sometimes, but
Sure.
but it's like, where did I meet them and what job was I doing? I'll tell you, all the jobs I've had though have led me to where I'm at now, and I absolutely love what the Community Foundation does for the community and what it allows me to be a part of. So
Yeah.
it's pretty exciting.
Well, it does not take long visiting with you to know that you have a passion for what you do there and for, like you said, what the foundation's mission. So tell us a little bit more about, like, take a deep dive with us and tell us a little bit more about what the foundation's purpose or mission is here in Decatur County.
Okay. Before I worked there, the only thing I really knew about the Community Foundation was that that's where kids got scholarships from.
Yep.
We are so much more than just scholarships. The Community Foundation is a mechanism that any community that has a foundation can utilize it so that those people who are philanthropic or want to help give back to their community and know that their charitable dollars are going to a good cause, the Community Foundation helps disperse that money into your community. So we're trusted by the local community to take donated money and then turn around and deploy those dollars into the community in a variety of ways. And the cool thing about the Community Foundation is the actual gift to the foundation is put into an endowed fund. So we never spend the gift. And all of the money that it earns, that's what we turn around and give back to the community. Our lofty mission statement says that, we're there to inspire the generosity of our community to, I already forgot, to create a lasting impact.
Yeah.
So anyway, what is cool is long after we're all gone, dollars that have been donated since before I was there will still continue to be earning money and putting back into the community. So scholarships are nothing to sneeze at. And last year we gave out nearly $400,000 in scholarships, and a little over $375,000 in grants. So it's really cool. I am 100% confident in saying there is nobody in our county that's not been impacted by money that has come through the Community Foundation, because we don't just go out and make grants to help like with basic human needs, but we also help do arts programs and park programs, and we give money to help with the fireworks. I mean, it's the people who donate, we always have to think about, would they be happy to know that money they donated is being used for X, Y, or Z?
Sure.
So we always have that in mind. And then when we make a grant, we want to make sure that it's having an impact,
Sure.
making a difference. We're not just wasting people's money on things that are frivolous, but the community is better because of it. And I am just like champing at the bit. We have a huge announcement, but we're not allowed to make it yet.
Check your email.
But we were formed in 1992
Okay.
because of a challenge that Lilly Endowment in Indianapolis made to the whole state of Indiana. Any county in Indiana that wanted to start a community foundation that didn't already have one, Lilly put a challenge out there. And our community in 1992, a handful of people stepped up and said, let's do this. So they accepted the challenge, which was to raise $1 million, and Lilly would match it with $1 million. So that's how we got our start. And the model that we follow was pretty much put out there by Lilly Endowment, and it works because we continue to slowly, even though the market can put a hit on your investments, we still continue to follow the model that Lilly Endowment put out there, and we continue to grow bit by bit. And I call it our community foundation because it belongs to this community. We don't have our actual audit numbers yet for this calendar year because it's not over.
Sure.
But I feel certain that we're going to be over the $30 million mark. And that's
incredible.
money that people in Decatur County have given. We have, through the years, that initial $1 million that Lilly put up, Lily has a program called Giving Indiana Funds for Tomorrow, the acronym for GIFT. And we are currently working through the tail end of GIFT 8. And they have poured so much money into the state of Indiana via community foundations. And they know where we need to grow, and so they'll kind of dangle little incentivized carrots. So this last couple of times, it's been to grow the pot of money that we make our unrestricted community grants. So we are able to, it morphs, it continues to change through the years because the needs of the community change. But we put aside a pot of money so that the volunteer fire departments can sit together and talk about their highest needs and figure out who needs the money the most for what project. Mm-hmm. So we give to fire departments, we give to the schools, we give to teachers, we give to large grants and small grants. And then we also have money set aside, so if we see a need and nobody else is stepping up to help with it, we can say, oh, hey, we would like to do that. I was tickled because they said yes to helping the community health care clinic earlier this year. Yes. The community health care clinic can add a very nice dental component with some upgrades, and so we were able to do that, and the board was willing to give even more than what was asked of them. And I think we might put the icing on the cake here at this Thursday's board meeting to help them finish off that program. But what'll happen is people who don't have regular access to dental care or insurance, the community health care clinic was able to basically offer something once a month. People would just go stand in line and get teeth pulled, but they're going to be able to up the type of services that they offer and partner with IU School of Dentistry and have more seats and do very more cool. Instead of people having to seek elsewhere. Yeah. And our community doesn't have dentists who take Medicare, I might say the wrong one, Medicaid, Medicare, I don't know which one it is, but we don't have any dental places that accept that form of payment. So people, it's already a transportation issue, then having to go out of county to try and get an appointment that might be 4 or 5 months out when you have an immediate need. So helping the community health care clinic be able to meet that need, that feels good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
well, and those topics that you just mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, that's kind of how your website is set up. When you go and you look for opportunities, for funding opportunities, as another organization in the community who's visiting your website, you've kind of got those tabs, I believe, that are small business, small grant, large grant, teacher grants, so on and so forth. So you've talked a lot about, or mentioned a lot, scholarships. So let's kind of bite these off one at a time. Let's start with scholarships. Okay. I know that you said you're about more than that. So let's kind of go over that a little bit, just a couple of minutes. And then let's get into the others, those things that people may not realize or recognize, and take a little deeper dive there. So in talking about the scholarships, that's getting ready to come up. That's going to open up here soon, or it has opened.
It will open. I actually brought some magnets and left them in the car because I could give them to Sandy so she could remember. Yeah. But the Decatur County Community Foundation scholarships open up January 1st.
January 1.
And they are open the entire month. We are working with both the city and county school corporations right now on an alternative to FAFSA, because once again, we're hearing that FAFSA is not working well for people. And FAFSA, for those who don't know, those numbers, if somebody has filled out their FAFSA form, those numbers help determine if somebody needs a needs-based scholarship. Okay. Well, we don't want to lock anybody out of, by assuming anything. So we're working with both school corporations to figure out a fair mechanism for determining whether or not somebody should receive a needs-based without us having to ask for all sorts of personal financial information. Yeah. But anyway, we give, I want to say it's close to 80 scholarships. That's individual named scholarships, but some of those, like the Bernie and Lucy Lehman, it gives, I believe, 4 to Greensburg and then 4 to the county school corporation, and those are 4-year scholarships. So it's not like just a one and done. It's 4 years worth of tracking that particular set of students, you know.
Right.
And the cool thing, even with the Layman Fund, to prove that the Lilly model works, they have been giving out that many scholarships ever since its inception. And the original gift was around $3 million, and it's over $5 million now. It's grown that much, and we continue to be able to give out and have that many times 4 in the scholarship pipeline that we're following clear through their senior year.
Very awesome.
So thank God for Jenny Shebler and scholarships, because I am not organized enough to keep track of all those things, but
Yeah.
we do work with the guidance counselors very closely to make sure that they're aware. Right now, I dropped off magnets this morning at South Decatur. Jenny's taking North Decatur's, and I think Greensburg has theirs. The idea is that every senior, before they go home for Christmas break, will have this magnet stuck on their locker that they can take home that reminds them. It gives them the website to go to and what the dates are and phone number to call if you have any issues, because Jenny's able to take care of that from anywhere. So
Awesome.
Anyway, it's amazing to see the number of scholarships that we give out. And a couple of years ago, we realized that before I ever started, it used to be a $5,000 minimum to start a scholarship.
Okay.
By the time I came on board, it was $10,000. But we're realizing with market returns not being as great as they used to be, and if people started at that level and never add to it, the scholarships aren't as meaningful today, the output, as what it used to be, because nowadays the output from a $10,000 scholarship might pay for a college biology book. I mean, it's just so expensive. Yeah. So we changed the required amount to start one to $30,000, and I thought, oh no, you know, and we've started a handful since then that are continuing to grow. So people are stepping up to do it. It's an amazing way to remember somebody you love, or to, you know, get somebody to apply to be something that you feel strongly about.
Sure.
Bassin Gasper Funeral Home, Mike Gasper started one for people who are interested in going into mortuary science.
Okay.
So there are a lot of specialty type things if people get on there and look. And our application is, we constantly are trying to refine it and make it easier and easier. But it's a one-pager, and you get on there and you start filling it out. And as you answer specific questions, if you say no to something, then something's not going to show up as available to you. But if you say, yes, I'm interested in growing carrots in Alaska, you know, I mean, then yeah, that will pop up and say, you might be interested in these scholarships because of what you've listed over here. So
helpful.
Yeah. It's tries to streamline it as much as possible, because it's confusing enough as it is.
Right.
So
well, and I feel like kids that age are just inundated with so much, and all of the thought processes
right,
that they have to go through for that next step. Like there's a lot going on for kids. So thankful to you and your crew to look at that and say, hey, this could be easier, and let's do what we can to help these kiddos out as they're making these tough decisions and spending hours upon hours upon hours filling out applications.
I turned 60 this last year, and it's like, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I have no idea how some of these kids can figure out and have such focus, but we have phenomenal kids. And that being said, I mean, we just did get to announce who our Lilly winner was.
Yep, let's talk about that. Good segue.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about that. Who was your Lilly winner?
It was exciting. We had 5 applicants representing, you know, all 3 high schools.
Sure.
Michaela Summers from South Decatur won.
Yes.
But I can tell you that the applicants were so strong and so amazing this year. Of course, your winner gets all of their tuition paid to an Indiana college, and a $900 book stipend, I believe, each year.
Okay.
But your runners up, the foundation gives them a $5,000 scholarship. Well, this year, one of our judges was Linda Smith. She's the wife of the late Bill Smith.
Yes.
And Bill was the one who came up with our very, very rigorous Lily application process.
Okay.
And Linda sat in on the judging and was so impressed that she asked if there was a way she could do something. So she actually is giving an additional $1,000 to those runners up. So they'll be getting $6,000 each because she did that in Bill's memory.
Very neat.
And every time we talk about trying to make it not so scary for the kids, it's like, no, everybody wants the whole process to stay the way it is. And we're kind of renowned for it. We've got more stringent guidelines than most of the counties.
I was just going to ask if every county is the same.
Nope.
Evidently not.
I assumed they were,
Yeah.
but then when I became the director at the foundation and I was talking to my brother-in-law from Henry County, he's like, you're doing it wrong. It's like, no, we're not. You are. So I found out that every county has their own thing and they have to send it to Lily every year. Lily has to approve the process. Then we have to go through our process, do all of it, and send all the proof that we followed our own guidelines. And then they have ICI, I think that's Independent Colleges Institute.
Okay.
They actually review and will tell us who our winner is. We think we know when we send it, but they go over everything. They have a whole committee that reviews everything, and they could change it if they wanted to because they're reviewing, and they will call, they have called to double check that you did this or that to make sure. And we now know just how serious they take it because Jenny Shebler in our office serves on the state committee, but she doesn't get to sit in judgment of our county. She gets to help with other counties to review. And so it's a process, but we want to make sure it's as fair as possible.
Yeah.
So the other runners up that were all equally great, and nobody really knows who's going to come out on top.
It was a standout lineup.
Oh,
absolutely.
They just couldn't believe how amazing they all were. But in addition to Michaela Summers, you had Cooper Palmer, Chase Tekulve, Savannah Danforth, and Christopher Maines. And they just said that it's so hard to know. But they take not only the presentation that they do that day for the judges and the answering the random strange questions that are come up with by our scholarship committee.
Yeah.
They also had already had to do an essay. They had to, all of their like community projects that they're involved in and their grades. There's a whole pile of things that go into making this determination. So there have been years that I'm just like, this person's got to win. Well, they didn't because they didn't excel at other things.
Gotcha.
And then when you see what these kids have done and what they do, it's like, oh my gosh, how do they have time to be a kid?
Right.
They're just phenomenal. So anybody who thinks
That's
that
awesome.
kids today, that we don't have future leaders, they're just not around the right group of kids.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, congratulations to all of those finalists, and then the winner, Michaela Summers. I know that just got released maybe a week ago.
Yes,
it's
yeah.
Breaking news, brand new.
Yeah.
So that's very cool, and very cool that you get to be kind of the I guess the organization that helps control and put that on and organize, and I know that's all coming from Lily, but that's a big workload.
It's a lot,
That's
and
a lot.
it never stops. The whole scholarship thing never stops. Lily, up until a couple years ago, it used to be in the spring, so the kids had all that on top of everything else. Lily changed the application process to pretty much as soon as school starts, in late summer, early fall, we start the Lily process. That way, the student who wins, they know they can start picking their colleges based on the fact that they're going to be, going to an Indiana college for sure. And then we jump into, our acronym is DCCF.
Right.
About 5 years before we were formed, there was a group of very concerned educators and parents who went door to door and raised money to start a scholarship foundation for the county schools because they felt they weren't getting a lot of scholarships. So there is also the DCCSF. So they do not have an office.
Okay.
And we even, a couple of the scholarships that they give out, we manage the money for. So there's always confusion.
Absolutely.
So because we're where people can find us, we are always aware of who's the current president of the DCCSF, and we make sure and guide kids with any questions. We help wherever we can,
Yeah.
because both of the organizations are important, and we need to have each other's backs to make sure that the kids are the ones getting what they need
Right.
when they need it.
Right.
So, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah, being a great resource,
Yeah.
working together in our community, love that. Let's talk about, okay, so we've talked a little bit about scholarships, and we're going to run out of time. I'm watching the clock here. You just have so much in your umbrella, but let's switch over to grants and those other things. So kind of hit on one or two of the ones that you want to talk about here and give us some more information.
It's so hard. I kind of feel like it's that deer in the headlights thing. When somebody asks me, what's your favorite grant? It's like, because we do so many different things.
Yeah.
But we like had a little whatever right before I left, little powwow to talk about kind of what some of this year's grants were. And so, cool things. The Greensburg United Methodist Church, we gave them a grant because they are providing free music lessons to kids.
Yes.
So we gave a grant, and we went over to their music lab, and I wish, I know 4 chords on a guitar, but I don't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
And I am just blown away. I would love to be able to play the piano or something, but I don't think my head's wired right. But it was just amazing to see how they've got it set up, and the fact that kids have access to that for free. And then I believe it was maybe Mrs. Karen Matthews, who teaches maybe at the junior high or the elementary, I'm not sure, but she applied for a grant so that she could also give music lessons to kids. And music is so important. I always have a song in my head or coming out of my mouth. If
you were singing before
if you see me driving down the road, I think people think I'm probably having a seizure or like saying bad things. I'm not. I'm singing. I don't care. But anyway, we helped with, there's interest in restarting scout packs here in Decatur County, the Boy Scouts.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just gave some money to help offset the cost of people joining, because those things, those activities are very important, especially for youngsters that maybe don't have parents who have the time, or they don't have a 2-parent family. And Scouts is such a healthy way for kids to get to experience things in a supervised setting. So we did
Great life
that.
Skills.
Tree County Players had a unique request. They're going to have a way, if somebody is taking part in one of their productions that has a difficulty getting up and down the steps, or is in a wheelchair, we've given them a grant so that they can make handicapped accessibility from the downstairs to the upstairs backstage.
Very cool.
So that opens up, every year, the Front and Center Players puts on that's, our community of people with different needs or whatever.
Sure.
And they put on their show there. And I just think this just opens it up to that many more people.
Absolutely.
So I was excited that they thought to ask for it. We help all the little towns with different things. New Point, they have a community center, and their electricity was outdated and their technology was outdated, so we gave them a grant. We've granted several different things to the Westport area. One of the more important things is there is a food pantry down there, and it serves, I don't know, they estimate around 80 families that come through. And there is even a greater need than what they can provide, and it does cause congestion, and the storage of the food is a trick. But anyway, we gave a grant, and they're going to do a whole new building, which is pretty much going up real fast right now. But the refrigerator unit is what our grant bought, so they'll be able to store more food and access more things from gleaners that will help meet those needs. And Westport also has, the Wesleyan Church has a coffee shop built on the back of it.
Yes.
It's called It's On Us Coffee Shop.
Yes.
And we gave a grant so that they could buy some of the I don't know, coffee makers and different things, a refrigerator in there, commercial size. But it's cool because they're opening up, they have people volunteer, and they open up after basketball games and football games, and they're calling it the 5th quarter. and kids can go there and congregate in a safe atmosphere, and they all get a free coffee or they've got smoothies and all that, and they've got game tables. It's just a neat place to keep, so the kids can go do something fun together, but be in a safe setting.
Absolutely.
And we've volunteered at it one night. It's amazing how many kids show up down there.
Cool.
So
Very cool.
It's neat. So
Very cool.
Something it's real heart-wrenching kind of thing, but it's a really needed ministry that nobody had ever stepped up. But the Little Soul Cemetery, we gave a grant to help with that. And back in the day, I have 2 kids that are, both in their 30s now. Lord, I'm old. But I didn't intend for my kids to be 6 years apart. Miscarriage happens to a lot of people, and people don't talk about it a lot. But the Little Soul Cemetery is kind of a miscarriage ministry, and it is huge, because when you want those babies and something happens like that, you don't know what to do. Sure. And she has really done an amazing job of giving people a place to basically, you can bury your child, you can put a marker commemorating them, but the kits that the grant helps supply to hospitals and the emergency management people, just really amazing.
Very thoughtful.
Yes, because that just didn't used to exist, and it's pretty crude how you would have to manage to take,
care of all that.
So it's an amazing thing, and it's growing. So tickled to have been able to help people that are experiencing one of the more awful things that can happen. Yeah. But with compassion, and I don't know, it gives everybody the tools they need to help manage it, because you just don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I could go on for 6 days, but we did give a grant for Little Chargers pre-K, so that's exciting. So North Decatur's going to have a pre-K getting set up and running. So
you are all over the place.
We are.
All over the
That's
place,
why
which
I
is very
can't
cool.
just put it in a nutshell.
I know.
So.
Well, we are out of time, so we're going to wrap it up. But we've talked about kind of 2 different segments of the Decatur County Community Foundation: the scholarship side of things, the grant side of things. Mm-hmm. Who can apply for grants?
Basically, you have to be a nonprofit or have a nonprofit that can sponsor you. Okay. If you have an idea that's for the general betterment of the community, but you're not a nonprofit, if you call us and talk to us and we feel like we can fit it into the overall scope of what we do, a lot of times we can kind of hook you up with a nonprofit that would be happy to sponsor what it is you're proposing. Yeah. So we're able to help make things happen. If it's to help everybody, we don't give, like, to churches. If it's just for their parishioners, that's not going to happen. But if a church is doing something that's facing outward into the community and anybody is welcome, we're able to do those things. And we try real hard to do that with any good idea that comes down the pike.
Yeah. Very cool work that you get to be a part of, that your team gets to be a part of. And we can't thank you enough for, you said 10 and a half years, I think, in this position. Your office is located?
We're at 101 East Main, which is the corner of Main Street and Broadway. So if we look out our front window, we're looking at the courthouse across Main Street. If we look out our window to the west, we're looking at the site of Taft Furniture. So we are
great views all the way around. You've got prime
views.
Window location in the downtown.
Do.
Yep.
Yes, we do.
Well, again, thank you so much for being on Community Connections, for being a community partner here in Greensburg and Decatur County. They are a member of the Greensburg-Decatur County Chamber of Commerce, so we want to thank you. We're excited to be able to continue supporting your organization as you work to support so many other things in our community. So love what you do.
Well, we appreciate what you do. You do a very good job of it, and love looking at what you put out there, and you help us keep in touch with what's going on. Yeah. And your Leaders and Loggers, I've made it there a couple of times because I have a class on Tuesday nights too, but Leaders and Loggers, I have never walked away from there not going, wow, I'm glad I went because I got to meet this person or that person or hear about something. So it's really worth the time. If somebody wants to go there and hang out, you're going to meet some people that you wouldn't have tripped across otherwise.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
Well, thank you for that. Well, this was Tammy Wenning, Executive Director of the Decatur County Community Foundation. I'm Dawn Lowe. I'm Executive Director of the Greensburg-Decatur County Chamber of Commerce with our final Community Connections of 2024. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have happened to miss a portion of this broadcast or want to revisit any of the previous ones, you can always find it on our YouTube channel, so go check it out there. We want to wish everyone a very safe and happy Christmas and holiday season. We'll see you back in 2025.